All right, what's up, boys? What's up, boys? We got a little 5-game Tuesday slate. As always, guys, I'm gonna try and answer everyone's questions. We're gonna talk through tonight's slate, break everything down, and just kind of talk through everything for the next 30 to 35 minutes. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have questions for tonight's slate, go ahead and start throwing them in chat. We did get some news just a minute ago. We got the Thunder starting lineup. Derek Favors resting today, so they're going with Jeremiah Robinson Earl starting at center for the Thunder. I don't know too much about Jeremiah Robinson Earl, but he's super cheap on Draftkings. I'll be interested to see I don't really know how many minutes he plays with this Thunder team when it comes to the start, the center rotation. I mean, they have Roby, they have Muscala. I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl plays low 20s, mid 20s minutes, and at 3,200, I did want to mention him because I think he is a solid value now. And again, there's not much value on this slate. So I do like him now that he's starting for the Thunder. What's up, Martin? What's up, Tank? Let's get it. Let's get it, baby. Mitchell Robinson or Drummond? Give me Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson I like a lot tonight. I'm worried if he can stay out of foul trouble. That's the big concern. It's a really, really tough matchup against Joel Embiid. But if Mitchell Robinson can stay out of foul trouble and he plays 30, 35 minutes, I mean, he's got big-time upside for what his price is. He can easily blow 5,400 out of the water. Top 3 value plays under 4,500. Yeah, man, I mean, there's not much value today. There's not much I like down there. Like I said, now that Jeremiah Robinson Earl is starting at center for the Thunder, I think he's a solid value. I don't think he plays a ton of minutes, but he's so cheap that he's playable. We're still waiting on LeBron news. If LeBron gets ruled out, I would like Kent Bazemore a good amount. But, we still don't have that news yet. Man, there's just not much value. Doug McDermott, I think, is in play. I think Danny Green plays 25, 30 minutes. He's only 4K. He's a fine value. But, yeah, value's just gross tonight. There's a lot of studs on this slate that I want to try and pay up for, but it's really hard to get them in because just the value, man, it's not there. There's just not a lot of cheap options that I love. Thoughts on Otto Porter? I don't think I'm going to go to Otto Porter, especially since Iguodala's back. Iguodala did miss their last game, but he's back for today. I think with Iguodala back, Otto Porter probably doesn't play as many minutes as he did last game. He played, I believe, mid-20s, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he played 24 minutes. I don't think he gets that many today with Iguodala back. He probably gets
high
teens. So, not much interest in Otto Porter for me.
Oh, yeah.
Luka or Steph? Dilsey, you can't go wrong with either one. If I have to pick one, I think I prefer Steph. But, yeah, Luka and Steph are both good pay-up options. It's so tough to fit them in on this slate just because of the minimal value we have. My man T-Money, he's back with more Super Chats, man. T-Money, I appreciate you, brother. $10 Super Chat says, "What's up, Noah? You the man. Thanks for all your content as always. Let's crush this slate. Let's get it, T-Money. Let's get it, man. Appreciate the $10 Super Chat." My NBA luck has not been there lately, man. I've been struggling so far this NBA season, but hopefully tonight we turn things around. Poole or Wiggins? Give me Jordan Poole. LeBron out? No, we don't have news on LeBron yet. He's still questionable. I don't know when we're going to get news on LeBron. It might be after lock, but yeah, LeBron's still questionable. I'm assuming he plays. Anytime LeBron's questionable, he normally does play, but he did get downgraded from probable to questionable, which is, never a good sign. There's no value tonight, right? They're just, yeah, man, value's tough. I think we do have at least one viable cheap option with Robinson Earl, but I want to see how many minutes he's projected for. Because I don't think he plays a ton of minutes. I think he probably gets mid-20s. Again, when it comes to the center rotation for the Thunder, I don't think there's going to be one guy that just plays big minutes. But I wanted to see what his minutes projection is, if it's updated. Yeah, so they got him in for 21 minutes. I mean, yeah, 21 minutes from Robinson Earl at 3,200. I mean, that's going to make him a solid value. I don't know if he has a massive ceiling, but at that price point, I mean, you're not going to need too much from him to pay off that price. Porzingis, I have some interest in Porzingis. I like the matchup a lot against Houston. Houston is terrible defensively. I mean, they're going to be a bad defensive team this year. So far in defensive rating, I'm pretty sure they're bottom of the league already. And it's only been 2 or 3 games. Houston is Where are they at? They're about middle of the pack in defensive rating, but I assume as the season progresses, like that's gonna change. Houston's not a good defensive team. It's a really good spot for both Luka and Porzingis. I worry about the blowout, but if the game could stay close, I mean, you could get a big game from both those guys. Porzingis definitely in play for me. I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but I still think he's in play. How you feel about SGA? Also, Jakob Poeltl. SGA, I mean, again, you worry about the blowout there with the Thunder guys. But if you're playing SGA, I think it does make sense to maybe have some exposure to someone, like maybe play Steph with SGA. Because if SGA has a ceiling game tonight, it probably means that he's playing his full minutes and that the game is competitive. So if that's the case, that means Steph is also playing his full minutes, and Poole and Wiggins and all those guys are playing their full minutes too. So I think, me personally, if I was playing SGA, I would want to have someone on the Warriors side. I do like SGA, but again, I'm a little bit worried about the blowout. I think I prefer Dejounte Murray straight up over SGA for cheaper, but he's still in play. And then Jakob Poeltl, I think, is a really good mid-range center option. I mean, Jakob Poeltl's been getting pretty consistent minutes this year. He's always been a productive player when he gets minutes. You know, matchup against the Lakers have been playing fast this year. If we're going to get like low 30s minutes from Jakob Poeltl at 5,600, I think he's a really good option. Alec Burks for value. Alec Burks really not on my radar. Alec Burks did get like 24 minutes last game, but Obi Toppin was in foul trouble. So I don't think Alec Burks plays as many minutes today as he did last game due to Obi Toppin getting in foul trouble. They've been playing Obi Toppin a lot more this year, and that's hurt Burks' minutes a little bit. Which Spur are you most confident in? I mean, I like a good amount from San Antonio tonight. I think San Antonio is like the most underpriced team on this slate. But I would say Dejounte Murray is probably my favorite Spur. But like Dejounte Murray, Poeltl, Keldon Johnson, Derek White, I mean, I have interest in all those guys. I got 3 Spurs starters for cash. I mean, I think that's totally fine. You know, the Spurs are, again, their guys are projecting out some of the best values on the slate. Murray, Poeltl, White, Keldon Johnson. Robinson Earl for OKC is starting. Is he considered a value at this point? I think he's a value. I don't have a ton of confidence in him. I'm not sure how many minutes he plays. I think low 20s is, a good guess, but he's 3,200 and we don't really have any value on this slate. So yeah, getting a guy at 3,200 that's going to start at center and play 22, 24 minutes, I'm fine with that. So I do like Robinson Earl for value now. Derrick Rose or Seth Curry? Give me Derrick Rose if I had to pick one. SGA or Murray? Murray for me. But I think that's definitely close. On the 22nd, I plugged all of your picks, took first place in the 50-cent entry, won $500, had 401.75 points. Thanks, bro. Awesome, man. Awesome. That's huge. 50 Cent turned it into $500. That's a huge takedown, man. Congratulations, man, my man. That's a huge ROI. Utility player under 6,900. Let's see here. I would say probably Derek White would be my first pick. Either Derek White or KPJ. Probably Derek White I'd go with there. But if you already have a lot of Spurs, then maybe just play KPJ. Something to a Yahoo lineup: Dejounte Murray, Steph Curry, Danny Green, Porzingis, Carmelo, Wood, Robinson Earl, or Lonnie Walker. I think that's solid. I would probably take Robinson Earl over Lonnie Walker, I think. But that's a decent lineup. I mean, Danny Green, again, I don't feel great playing Danny Green, but the value on this slate's so bad that I think Danny Green's in play because of how bad the value is. Watch LeBron play and break the slate and no one will have him. That's how these seem to go that's how these seem to go so often. I mean, yeah, it's true. I assume LeBron plays, and I'm expecting him to play. But yeah, if he gets ruled out, man, that's gonna change the whole slate. You're obviously gonna want to get Westbrook. You're gonna want to get exposure to AD. Carmelo would be a pretty good play. Kent Bazemore would get more minutes. I mean, there would be a lot to like from the Lakers if LeBron gets ruled out. But I'm just gonna assume he plays. I think it makes sense, though. Don't go too heavy on, like, the early games. The Spurs and Lakers game starts at 8:30, so an hour after lock. I would say if we don't have news on LeBron before lock, don't play too many guys from the early games because you're going to want to have late swap options if LeBron gets ruled out. You're going to want to try and get Westbrook and AD in there if possible. And some of the value from the Lakers, too, that we would get. Gobert, Murray, or Porzingis? I think I would take Dejounte Murray there, but that's definitely close, Derek. I mean, I think all those guys project very closely, but I think I'd take Dejounte Murray. Robinson Earl or Maxey? I mean, if you have the salary, I would play Maxey. You like Kevin Porter tonight? I think Kevin Porter's in play. You know, again, when with these Houston guys, I always worry about blowout with Houston. Houston, they're big dogs once again tonight. But like KPJ, Christian Wood, just Jayshawn Tate, like all those guys, Jalen Green, like they all have a ceiling if the game can stay close and they play their full minutes. That's just the one concern. But if KPJ gets his full 36 minutes tonight, yeah, he's got a ceiling. He's definitely in play. But again, I think if you're playing a Houston guy or two Houston guys, maybe play someone on the Mavs, like a Luka or Porzingis. Any values you like on Yahoo? For Yahoo, I think Carmelo's a pretty good value. He's only $12. He's a great play if LeBron gets ruled out, but I would like him even if LeBron plays. Carmelo, I think, is a little too cheap on Yahoo. Jordan Poole's way too cheap on Yahoo. Mitchell Robinson I like for cheap. Keldon Johnson. Just thinking like $20 and below. Those are some guys I like. Definitely like Jordan Poole, though, and Carmelo are probably like my favorite cheap plays on Yahoo, I think. Earl had 21 minutes versus Houston, only put up 11.5 DK points. I mean, yeah, we don't have much of a sample from Robinson Earl. I don't think he's going to be like a great point per minute player or anything, but he's super cheap and he's starting, and he's probably going to get at least like low 20s minutes. I mean, he could play 24 minutes and score 10 DraftKings points, but that's not going to tank your lineup at 3,200. Obviously, you're probably not going to win a GPP with that, but it's not going to just kill your lineup. And if a lot of the studs do well tonight, like if Curry goes off, if Luka goes off, you're probably going to have them, and the only way to get them in is playing some of these cheap guys. What's up, Chris? What's up, my man? Appreciate you tuning in. Noah, for value, would you take White or Murray? Between the two, I prefer Dejounte Murray, but both those guys are in play for me. Pirtle on Yahoo, I think Pirtle's a really good play on both sites. I like him a lot. Again, we expect Pirtle to play 30, 32 minutes most likely, if more, and he's always been a fantasy point per minute player when he's on the floor. So he projects definitely really well for his salary. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, Chris. Let's get it, my man. Liking Keldon Johnson and Jordan Poole, I like both those guys as well, T-Money. I like both those guys as well. I think Keldon Johnson will be pretty popular, but he's definitely underpriced for, how many minutes he's playing, and really all these Spurs starters for how many minutes they've been getting lately. And given, how fast the Lakers are playing this season, the Lakers haven't been that good defensively either. Would you play Giddey or Bazley on Yahoo? Between the two, I would probably prefer Giddey, Chris. Keldon Johnson or Draymond? I mean, I would take Draymond if you have the salary. Burks and Wiggins or Tim Hardaway and Barrett? Give me Tim Hardaway and Barrett. I have 4,100 left in the utility spot. Any suggestions? Let me see. Let's see here. 4,100, I would say probably... I mean, if we get news that LeBron's out, I would probably say like Malik Monk. But not having that news right now, I mean, I guess give me Danny Green. God, Danny Green's someone I hate playing, but on this slate, I think Danny Green's viable. Danny Green's going to play like 25 to 30 minutes. He's 4K. I mean, he doesn't have much of a ceiling, but if he gets you like 25, 26 DK points a night, you're probably going to be pretty happy, especially if he allows you to get in, a lot of the studs at the top. And if they do well, you're obviously going to need them most likely. What's up, Noah? Good luck today, my brother. Did you guys already go over some prospects for tonight? Can rewind if so. Haven't talked about prospects yet. I can take a look and see some things that I like. Let's see here. So obviously, like with LeBron being questionable, in any scenario where LeBron gets ruled out, I mean, just over on Westbrook, over on AD, over on Carmelo, just feel free to play those, obviously. But some other ones I like, looking at fantasy points. I mean, I kind of like over on Dejounte Murray's fantasy points. Where's he at? Yeah, 37.5. I kind of like that over. I think Dejounte Murray plays 35, 36 minutes is a good matchup. The Lakers are playing fast, like we mentioned. I mean, a lot of the Spurs, I like their overs. So Murray, Pirtle, Keldon Johnson, their fantasy points overs, I like those a good amount. Luka over 50 fantasy points. If Luka plays his full minutes, he's going to go over 50 fantasy points against Houston. I like that as well. Jordan Poole over 30 fantasy points. I would like that one too. But those are just a few I like for prospects tonight. How about Lonnie Walker on Yahoo? GPP, or would you rather take Robinson Earl? If I had to take one, Chris, I think I'd go with Robinson Earl. I mean, I don't think on Yahoo you really need to go that low, just because. Hold up. LeBron is out. Okay, holy shit. I did not expect that. LeBron is out. Wow. All right. Okay, we still got a good amount of time before lock, but I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have to go update the Patreon content too and update the core plays. Oh man, I did not expect LeBron to be out. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean Russell Westbrook, God. I mean how high owned is Russell Westbrook gonna be tonight? Like he's 9K on Draftkings. I mean Russell Westbrook might be like 80% owned tonight, like no joke. Jesus Christ. Oh man, okay. Just give me a second, guys. I gotta update some stuff. Okay. I'm gonna have to end the stream in a minute. I gotta fix a lot of stuff. But I'll run through and answer some questions real quick. But I'm gonna have to end the stream a little early. I did not expect that news to come during the stream. Robinson Earl isn't playable at center. Thoughts on Baisley? I mean, Robinson Earl is a power forward on DK. But yeah, I guess if you want to go Baisley. I would say Robinson Earl is not nearly as good of a value now. You know, now that we... So let's just talk about the Lakers, because I guess that's the big news. So with LeBron out, I would assume, you know, Westbrook, AD are just going to dominate the usage. Both become two of the best spend-ups on the slate. AD's only 9,200, Westbrook's only 9K. I mean, both those two guys are probably... Westbrook's probably $2,000 too cheap. AD's probably $1,500 too cheap. So love both AD and Westbrook now. I think they're going to be really popular, but man, it seems really unlikely that at least, you know, one of those two guys are going to be probably in the winning lineup. You would think, if as long as the Lakers don't get like the shit beat out of them or something. You got to think Westbrook and AD, one of the two is going to put up a big game for their price. If not both, I think you can obviously play both. And then the secondary pieces, I would assume Carmelo starts. So I like Carmelo a lot, especially, again, that Yahoo price is so low. Kent Bazemore probably plays like a ton of minutes. I mean, he's already starting and getting like 30 minutes, but he probably plays like 35, 36 minutes. And then you'll probably see Rondo. I mean, Rondo did not play last game. He was a DMP, but I expect Rondo gets back in the rotation. He's only 3K. Like, yeah, you could definitely play Rondo now for cheap. But I think the biggest beneficiaries are AD, Westbrook, obviously. Great plays now. And then Carmelo, Bazemore. Forgot to mention Malik Monk, too. Like, Melo, Bazemore, Monk, Rondo all become solid options as well. But the just clear best plays from the Lakers are Westbrook and AD by a mile. And then Carmelo on Yahoo, I think, is a really good play now. But yeah, guys, I got to end the stream early, man. I'm sorry, but God, I got to update a ton of stuff. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know I wasn't able to answer a ton of questions tonight, but I got some stuff to do. I got to go update my lineups and update Patreon content. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I was able to kind of break down this Lakers situation a little bit for you, kind of give my thoughts on it. But anyways, good luck, fellas, and we'll be back tomorrow with another stream. Hopefully, no crazy news tomorrow.